Hello guys, how you doing? My name is Mukanya. I'm a CEO and, and founder of JT So let's talk about a bit. And we have a bunch of Puffin has a lot of built-in function. So what is a built-in function? Those are the function that already been defined. So it already has its own logic, and then all we need to do is to use it. Okay. And then a function is just a block of statement that you can call many times. All right. So just have to clarify that. So we already say I already use already the print function to display the output. And then the next one that we're going to see the output, this one we're going to display the data type of name of numbers. And then we see number, it's a list, and then name, it's a string. So it's going to say it's a class of str and list. And then I just make a copy of this. Then we save PowerPoint. Then we run it, and then here we go. Okay, so a data type in programming is also considered to be a class because from it we can also be able to access a method. There is some bunch of method on each object that we create. Same thing for integer and other objects or variables. So let's have a look at this function of dir. So dir, we're actually going to give also all the features, a list of features for this particular variable. So it's going to be for a list. So let's run it again and voila. So we have a method and we can see the property as well. So let's actually point or access the property called doct. It will give also a description about this particular data type. Okay, for a list. So it will say list is a built-in mutable sequence. Okay, it's a mutable data type, and then we're going to talk about it more later on. For now, let's just focus with a simple task. And then apart from that, we have the last one that I'm going to cover for this section or for this feature. Then we move to uh, other function. So this one would be the input function, which is going to allow the user to enter a value. We're no longer going to give those variable a default value, but this time we're going to allow the user to provide their own value. So that is the purpose of this function. So you can see that if you put your mouse on top of this function, it will going to give you a description about what it does, and then you can see where you see where it's pointing to. It's pointing what kind of data type does it return. It returns a new string. Okay, so when we're going to talk more about the string, and then I'm going to cover that a string is an immutable data type. So we're going to cover that later on. For now, just bear with me with step-by-step process. Okay, so it's going to return a string as a value. So that's why if we provide an integer value, and then since it's returning a string, it's going to convert that particular integer into a string. And then you see that this one will give us a value of a string, not integer. So let's run it. You see. So now if you want to solve it, there's a function called int that we can, after we fetch the value, and then we can convert it to integer. So integer will allow us to convert one data type to another. Okay. Now the data type of this will be an integer. So I'm just going to type 37. So now it's an integer. You can actually make use of it inside of your program. All right. Okay. Thank you. And then see you next time.